Having the degree doesn't qualify you for anything. But the obsession with credentials in our country is exactly what the left's about.
Donald Trump Jr. issued yet another rant, and this time he took on higher education. And I'd hate to say it, but the lesser Donald Trump may have made some points. You be the judge. Welcome into TYT's Overruled. I'm your host, Adrienne Lawrence. Don Jr. can't help but share his epiphanies online, and this time he went off about higher education. Give it a listen.
We literally went through the last few years, okay? I mean, we'll look back at literally the last few years where, and J.D. Vance points this out incredibly well, people with really fancy degrees from incredible institutions that would be leaders in academia implemented disastrous public health policies, things that crushed our economy. They implemented plenty of disastrous or probable medical decisions, at least in my opinion, okay? The presence of a degree from a great institution should not and really can't win an argument. We've seen that now, right? The brightest minds have said this. How many of them were right? And yet your idiot conspiracy theorists that the left would call, right? Every one of them, they seem to have nailed it so much better than all the geniuses, right? The geniuses in media, because they're incredibly intelligent, like if they worked at CNN. I don't know, folks. Doesn't seem to get much, but that's the argument. They want you to be subservient to these people because they checked off a couple boxes, or they could afford to go to school, or they went to school for 15 years rather than actually doing. Doesn't qualify you for anything.
All right, so putting partisanship aside to the extent we can here, I have a few things to say. First, yeah, going to a top-tier school does not mean you're qualified or even intelligent whatsoever. You simply could be a beneficiary of classism. Some 25 to 35% of those at Ivy Leagues, well, they got there because of legacy members in terms of their families having attended. That just means that you might already been in a position by way of class or something that your family, relatives had done, not necessarily because of your own qualifications. And second, I agree with Don Jr. that it's foolish to simply believe that because someone attended a high-ranking school, or actually any type of school, that means that they are smarter than you. That's just authority bias, and it's loaded with all other biases. And beyond high school, I have 4 degrees, 2 from a state school and 2 from a private school. And the thing is that shouldn't necessarily make me an authority on any particular subject. If anything, my practice, my experience, my aptitude should be the determining factor. And so I think people need to do some self-reflection when it comes to that. But all said, Don Jr. is really just making this point because he is part of a push from the right-wing agenda to try to keep people dumb. It's really easier to control stupid people, which is why individuals like Don Jr. and Charlie Kirk are anti-education.
College cartel has done such damage to our country. I believe the college cartel is no better than the Mexican drug cartel. And what they've done to our nation's youth, the bad ideas they've been spreading, the idea pathogens that have been infecting the inner core of our society.
All the while, the individuals leading the right are attendees of some of the highest institutions in this nation, with professional degrees from Harvard and Yale and whatnot. The thing is that knowledge is power. And so if you wish to have access to it, you're going to want to do your damnedest to get your hands on information, whether it's looking at reputable news outlets or heading to your local library, figuring out that kind of analytical framework that you need to be an informed member of society so you can make the decisions that are best for you and also for the future of this nation and for the future of your family. But then again, those are just my thoughts. You let me know yours in the comments below. Hit that like and follow button, and thanks for watching.